To begin drawing the ruler, make sure the grid lock icon is pressed in. This will ensure that any geometry that you draw on the screen will always attach to these dots on the page. Start by choosing the Shapes tool for the rectangle. If you hold your mouse button down, there are lots of different shapes available. We want the rectangle which is first in the list. As I move to my screen, choose a suitable point to start from. Wherever I click my mouse is the beginning of the rectangle. I can now move as far as I want, and I'm looking at the bottom of the screen at the numbers, and I'm checking to make sure that I am going to go across to 160 by 40 millimeters. I can click this second point and I've constructed my rectangle. At this point I want to now change my colour onto red, so that anything I produce from now on is a red colour which will be engraved by the laser cutter. I'm going to start by drawing a line. A single line using 2 clicks to draw the first 1 centimeter line on my ruler. To make the additional lines, I'm going to select this line that I've created using the select tool, click on it, it will start to highlight in pink. Come down to the transformations option, hold your mouse button down, choose the first one in the list, move or copy, let the mouse release on that, choose repeat. I want to repeat this line. Number of repeats, I want another 15 of these lines. Click OK. On the menu bar at the top it says locate reference point. I must choose a point somewhere in relation to this line, so I'm going to click just at the bottom of the line once. I'm going to move to the right and indicate the new position for the next object. Click. As I do this, the additional lines have been created to form all the 1 centimeter lines on my ruler. To repeat the lines on the other side of the ruler, choose the select option and click and drag a box that will contain all these 1 centimeter lines. You can see they all go pink. Now go back to the transformation commands, hold the mouse button down, this time choose the mirror command. When I release my mouse button now, I can choose to replace or repeat. I want to repeat. Click OK. In the information bar it asks me to locate a point on the axis of reflection. This means that we need to click a line, a point, to define the symmetry line. I could click anywhere along the centre of the ruler. I'm going to click towards the one end, click, and move across to define the second line, to define the mirror line. Again, anywhere along this line, I'm going to choose to click towards the end, click, and you can see it produces the additional lines on the other side of the ruler. In order to do the 1 millimeter lines, I need to zoom in. I'm going to choose zoom all off the commands. Now I've zoomed in, you can see the step dots on the screen. The step dots are smaller than the grid dots. I can't choose these step dots until I choose step lock. Click on step lock and now move over to the lines command. Click on the single line and start by drawing one of my lines onto my ruler. Click where you want it to start, move down 5 grid spaces and click to end. I want to reproduce this line all the way to the other end of the ruler. If I select this line, I must now choose the transformation command, the first in the list, move or copy the object. As I release my mouse button, I have to repeat. This time I want an additional 159 because there are 160 step spaces in between both ends of the ruler, and I already have one. So repeat 159 times. Click OK. Now go to the end of the small line. Click to define the reference point on the end of the line. Click. Move one space to the right. This will define the next line's position. Click. You can see all the additional lines have been created automatically. If you want to repeat these small lines to the other side of the ruler, you could select them all and use the symmetry command as we did before. Now I need to start adding some text to my ruler. Double click on the ABC command. This brings up the option to change the font for any additional font that I will produce from now. I have to choose the colour to be red, and I would choose the fill option, the word fill, and I would say I do not want to fill these letters in. No fill. OK. Choose the style of font that you would like to use. Choose something clear. Perhaps you want it bold italic. Perhaps you want it regular. The height is important. Choose a height of font of around 4 mm only. Click OK. Any font that I create now will follow these parameters. Click where you would like to start the first number to indicate the first line. Type in how many millimeters it is to that line. 10. OK. This may be out of position. You may want to select and click that text and move it to a more suitable position using the center option. Whenever you want to move anything in 2D design, it's the select option, click, and the middle option allows me to move that text or that object around. Select the 10. The double squares underneath are a copy and paste, and now move to my second position. I will have to use the property option at the bottom and the right of the corner of the screen to change this to 20. This has to be repeated for the whole length of the ruler. Click, select, click, move, property. Repeat this along the length of the ruler. On the other side of the ruler are the 1 centimeter lines. So choose the text command, click where we want the centimeter line and type in the number 1. OK. This text is the wrong way around. I need to flip it. I'm going to select this text. I'm going to click on it once and I'm going to mirror it about itself. Flip. I'm also going to flip it along its axis. Flip. I can now choose to copy and move that font to the next position and type in its next value of 2 using the property as we did before. Continue with this option until you reach the full length of the ruler. The final thing I need to do is to put my name down the centre of the ruler. Click with the font tool, choose where you would like the font and write in the name that you would like. Click OK. Select this text and move it to the position you would require. If you want any additional features about the ruler, you can draw them in yourself into the spaces left. This should complete the tutorial for making and designing your own ruler to be laser cut.